Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is the Dreams of Gaia deep dive. Today we are on the Crone. And it's pretty long, so let's get started. If you're new here, we're doing a deep dive through the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. We're going card by card to facilitate some introspection for shadow work. So here we go. Feminine power, fearlessness, authenticity, individuality, independence, new purpose, freedom, and shadow self. The key phrases: the woman who understands her true nature. Beware of your choices. Be unafraid to walk your path alone. A life of your own design. Untapped power and potential. A fertile and reproductive future, or productive, not reproductive. Quite the opposite. Ironically, a childless state. Okay. Be unbowed and unapologetic. Respect and cherish your elders. A direct and forthright approach is needed. Do what's necessary, not what's expected. It is time to be fierce and fight back. The meaning. The crone symbolizes a proud and mature woman, an aging woman who is no longer influenced by a need to reproduce or parental responsibilities. She may be approaching or have reached a stage in her life where her menstrual cycles have slowed or ceased, but she is no longer true to the crone archetype of old that is often depicted by Western society. The nature of the crone has evolved with the times. She is the wise woman who is like nature, wild, still, passionate, volatile, calm, peaceful, adaptable, and flowing, creative and powerful. She is everything she chooses to be. She is a woman who is aware of her choices and may well have transitioned from maiden to crone without feeling any need or desire to be a mother. The crone is unafraid of being alone or of walking her path alone. After centuries of being made an outcast and no longer being seen as having a functional role within society because her childbearing days are over, the crone has learned to look after her own needs. She has, by necessity, become a strong and independent individual who has found new purpose. Her life is full, has meaning and direction, and it is a life of her own design. The crone is comfortable in her own skin and free of artifice and pretense. She is mature, honest, aware, and wise. She is both understanding and compassionate, but speaks and acts with a directness that some may find intimidating. The crone can be quick to hug and offer support, but she can also be blunt and is unafraid to deliver a tough love message if she feels it is needed. At times, this can give her the appearance of cruelty and ruthlessness, but while the crone is not a hard woman, she can be tough and unwilling to embrace other people's illusions. This is why some will always be quick to vilify the crone. She can be depicted as cruel, hard, wicked, or selfish hag, and the very fact that she is both unrepentant and unwilling to be what society expects her to be may make her a target for those who are slaves to what society dictates, as well as who impose society's dictates. Anyway, she does what the fuck she wants. Fuck society. Anyway. But the crone is also very gentle and kind. She is loving, supportive, and nurturing. Every face she wears is her true face, but the face she wears will be the one that she feels is needed at the time. She is who she needs to be when she needs to be. This is why the crone is often portrayed as a woman who is past her prime, wrinkled and ugly. If she has made... Ugly is such an objective word. It's funny. If she is made to believe that she is useless, she can be controlled. If the crone becomes aware of her potential and power, she is a force to be reckoned with. The crone symbolizes the emergence of a mature woman who sees herself as being in her prime, but with many fertile, productive, and creative years ahead of her. She is a woman who embraces her true power and potential. In the past. The crone of the past conjures up images of haggard old women with gray hair and wrinkled skin. These images are often used to inspire fear and at the very least portray an older woman as being without purpose, who is bitter because she is no longer young and pretty. The Catwoman archetype. Rarely in modern Western culture and society is the crone celebrated and revered. Instead, she is called hag. How many times have we said that? Because she is no longer fertile, and so men no longer desire her. Western culture is inherently patriarchal, and therefore, if male population has no need for... This is so silly. Has no need for women who are beyond childbearing age, society has no purpose or place for them. I'm laughing so hard because I really resonate with the crone archetype, even though I'm like in my mother years. I'm done having kids. I have 9 cats. I wear earrings and matching PJ sets. Okay. I just don't know how to knit or crochet. But anyway, I'm laughing because women are so fertile and creative, and just because we don't make kids doesn't mean like there's no purpose. So anyway, that's why I'm laughing. Another stereotype that is commonly embraced is that of the kindly old woman who dotes on her, on her family and grandchildren. She is sweet and rosy-cheeked and always there to offer a hug and love. She is the babysitter who is always called on. She spends all of her time in the kitchen. God, this is so stereotypical. She spends all of her time in the kitchen cooking. Can we get to questions? Cooking cakes and biscuits. It smells like gingerbread. Again, something I'm stepping into. A little Miss Claus baker. She is the essence of love and familial servitude. Oh my goodness. So the crone is either feared or loved. In the role of hag, she inspires revulsion. In the role of grandmother, she inspires love and comfort. But ask yourself if the grandmother is acting from a place of love or fear. The loving grandmother may also act from a need to feel to be seen as being of use, lest she too be forgotten and cast out. The crone is someone who faces rejection on a daily basis, simply because she is an older woman. She is feared and she is taught to be afraid. Why? Because to be a woman is to create. Oh, okay. See, I should have just kept reading instead of giving my 2 cents. And once a woman no longer focuses her energy on creating life, nurturing life, she has all the inner power, strength, and energy to focus upon her passions. She has all the untapped power and potential, and if she comes to understand just how much power she has, the crone is unstoppable. Her energy and focus is no longer divided. Given will and good reason, just think what all the crones of this world could accomplish if they put their minds, hearts, and hands to creating. Really quick interject, there's so many systems in place that do not allow that, including just like the nuclear family model, but also just like the lack of respect for elders and how far we've come from, growing up in these little villages, right? So, in indigenous cultures, older elders have knowledge, and it's passed on to others. And so for this to be like there's no value is just insane. These elders have so much value. It's something we're lacking in Western society on purpose. Anyway. The crone's fertility does not cease when she stops menstruating. It increases. She is even more fertile in her crone years because her flow has ceased, leaving vital energy for other works. We are offered stereotypes and taught to believe that women beyond a certain age are of lesser value. We reject them. We cast them out. Because if we honor them and respect them, our present patriarchal society would be no more. 100. When the crone appears in the past position, it represents the need to reject stereotypes and pigeonholing people based on their age or appearance. Ageism is a form of oppression that, regardless of gender, is a mark of great disrespect. What I just said. I need to stop interjecting. No person's worth should be measured by their youth and appearance, instead their maturity and experience. Exactly. In the present, The crone in the present position represents a woman or a man of any age whose focus has shifted beyond the role of parenthood. The crone might be a woman whose menstrual cycles have ceased, but the crone might also be a woman or man who could reproduce if they chose to, but who has instead made a conscious and deliberate choice not to have or bear kids or children, and instead focus on a career or personal interests. It is time for outdated perception of change. The crone is not just a woman of a particular age, but a woman or a man of a particular state of mind and of being, who has a high level of awareness and maturity, who may feel no inclination to have or raise children. Women and men now have more choice available to them. Neither gender has to have the power or the partner or children in order to feel fulfilled and complete. The time has long passed since it was necessary for humanity to reproduce in order to preserve or increase the numbers within a tribe. Our tribes have gone far beyond this. In fact, some would say that it is a wiser person who chooses not to reproduce because they think of the planet and its dwindling resources and not of themselves. I'm totally in that space. Made a video about that. The guilt that came with having a child in these times. It's crazy. Crone by choice or crone by gender or nature. The crone is a person who is not influenced by reproductive urges or the issues younger women and men in society face. They see beyond body image, gender, sexuality, age, tribe, and family and societal expectations. The crone symbolizes a wise and mature person who chooses to be free and independent. They create a life and make their choices based upon their needs and desires, not the needs or desires of their family, partner, children, or society. They are also unbowed and unapologetic. Whether they choose to be partnered with another, single or childless, or a grandparent who says no to babysitting duties because they have something else they would prefer to be doing, they do not believe that their choices are selfish. Crone types are just as capable of selflessness as any other, but they often have different priorities to those who have or want children. It's a very different life path. When the crone appears in the present, she represents freedom from choice and freedom to be. You only have one life to live, so it is important to live it and that means putting your priorities first. You do not have to embrace traditions and beliefs that are archaic and restrictive. You do not have to do as you are told or what is expected of you. You do not have to allow others to determine your future or decide whether you have a purpose. Do not allow your age, your appearance, your gender, your sexuality to become something that others use to define, restrict, or limit you. You are who you choose to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. That was an interjection. The future. When the crone appears in the future position, it symbolizes the approach and effect of this state of being on your mind in the future. Whether it be a stage of life that you have moved towards or need to embody, or the influence someone who is crone in nature will have on your life, the crone is coming. Whichever it may be, welcome her with open arms, rather than trying to ignore or resist her. Else, you may find yourself being whacked upside the head with loving efficiency. She represents the need to take a direct and forthright approach, especially when it comes to making future plans. Be brave and determined. Do what is necessary, not what is expected. And the potential blockage, and then we'll be all done. When the crone appears in the reverse position, she symbolizes the need to get in touch with your shadow self. It is time to draw on the strength of your shadow and get angry. Not a rash or reactive, let me hold that there. Not a rash or reactive anger, but a cold, defiant, and determined anger. That righteous rage. Someone may need to be told to take a long walk off a short pier, because if you do not tell them, they are going to continue to expect you to be meek and compliant. They may want you to feel unimportant. They may want you to believe that you have no purpose. They may want you to question and doubt yourself. They may want you to do as you are told. They may want you to stay in the nice, brown, boring box they believe you are a perfect fit. Regardless of their reasons, they want you to remain in a doubtful and uncertain state of mind, because it gives them more power to control you and then disempower you. So it is time for you to say no. It is time for you to prove them wrong by doing everything they tell you you cannot, should not, or are unable to do. It is time to be fierce. It is time to fight back. Do not be afraid. Do not give up. The crone reverse symbolizes a need to go to war, if necessary, to prove your worth, not to them, but to yourself. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Have a good one. The link is below if you want your own deck. Other than that, I'll see you soon. Reading is not really complementary to our chaotic lifestyle, so that's why I'm not doing these as frequently. So I'm trying to get on here when I can. Have a good one.